Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiowa, and Sugaree peoples. We honor them. My name is Robin Mara, and I'll be worship assistant this morning for our guest speaker, Sam Treadaway. Sam's a longtime member and leader in our church, and a much beloved guest worship leader as well. And want to welcome you back to the pulpit, Sam. Piedmont UU, we here are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation, which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a church that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we're very glad you're here in person and with us online, and we do hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. We have some announcements for this Sunday. Reverend Amy is away for vacation and study leave, July 14th to 25th. If you have a pastoral care concern while she's away, please contact Joys and Concerns at puuc.org. And for other items that need immediate attention, contact bot@puuc.org. We will have a congregational meeting next Sunday, July 27th, here after the university gathering service. Details for that meeting were emailed on Friday to all of our members, so please look at that so you'll be ready for the meeting. There's also a Zoom meeting this Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., and that's just to provide more information in advance if you would like that. And there's information about all that in the Friday morning email. So please make plans to attend so you'll be there to discuss and vote and to ensure we have a quorum. And for other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you're on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so good to be with you in this sacred space, whether it's online or in person. We light this chalice as a symbol of our free faith, a beacon of hope, a flame of courage, a spark of the sacred within each and every one of us. May its light illuminate our worship this morning. Please join me in singing the words to lighting our chalice, which are printed in your order of service. Please rise as you're willing and able for our call to worship. Come into this place of possibility. Come with your longings, your fears, your fire. Come not to follow a map, but to begin the sacred work of walking your own road.
May we walk it with courage and with joy.
So, our opening hymn is 1003 in your teal hymnal, and if you ask a teacher to lead a service, you're going to get a mini lesson at least. I want to talk about this hymn. I've always found it very interesting. It's based on a painting by Paul Gauguin. There are three groups of women in this painting. On one side of the painting, there is a child, an infant, and a mother with the child, which leads to the question, where do we come from? In the middle of the painting, represents the daily existence of adulthood, where are we? And an elderly woman facing death is asking, where are we going? I've asked Anne, I always ask some special ask of Anne, to help us understand, because I've always wondered about this particular hymn. Although it's lovely, it's almost three hymns in one, and it's reflective of the phrasing of this. So listen to the first line as she plays it through one time. Where do we come from? Where are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? So you see, it's three hymns in one, reflective of the three questions. Let's sing it through twice, and we'll repeat each line as we sing it through. We are not going to sing it as a round. We are not going to sing it as a round.
All right, good morning, good morning. It is time for All Ages, and we have our very special pig friend with us today. Do you remember their name? Amelia Pighart, our jet pig, yes. And our jet pig, for those of you who may be visiting for the first time, is visiting us this whole summer while we talk about the UU values in our RE classes. And today we're talking about the UU value of transformation. That's what I'm here to talk to you about. We talked about this a few weeks ago. We've been talking about transformation a little bit here and there. But what is transformation? What does that mean? What's that word mean? Give me a definition. Yeah, what does it mean?
Turn into a different person, kind of?
Yeah, so one thing turning into something else, right? And it doesn't always have to be people. Things can transform, but people transform. And the last time we talked about this, I talked about transformation and being brave enough to learn about yourself and to transform into the person that you want to become. Well, today I want to tell you about a book series it's a really old book series, okay? It's from my childhood. It's called Animorphs. Have you heard of it? Have any of the adults heard of it? Great. My people are in the room. So the Animorphs book series was written for older, so like maybe like 10 and older, I think is probably when I started reading it, like 4th or 5th grade. But it's about these kids who have this special ability to change into animals. They touch an animal and they have the ability to transform into that animal, and they use that power to fight off an alien invasion. So aliens are attacking, and these teenagers are using their special power so then they can protect the Earth and fight these aliens. Do you have a question? What's your question?
Kind of sounds like wild crap.
It does kind of, doesn't it? So maybe I haven't paid a lot of attention to Wild Kratts because I'm a little older now, but I should check it out if it's anything like Animorphs. So my question for you, I want you to think, if you could transform into any animal, what would it be, and what would you use that special power for? You would transform into a bee. What would you do with that power? You would protect the other bees. Bees are really important. Did you know that? Bees are super important to the ecosystem. Yeah, they pollinate what?
Flowers.
They pollinate flowers and they make honey. And why is pollinating flowers super important? They make honey for us. That's right. We take their honey. Yes, so the honey is bottled up and we buy it at the grocery store. That is correct. Sometimes we buy it at farmers markets. We can buy honey at a lot of different places. So I like your idea of using your special power to protect the bees who need help and protection. They're very small. We are very large. We keep killing the things that keep them alive. And if we kill all of the bees off, then we don't get flowers, we don't get trees that give us fruits and vegetables or honey or a lot of different things. What would you turn into? A guinea pig? Oh, a kitty. What would you do with that superpower? What would you do as a cat? Attack bad guys? I like that superpower. Pounce on the bad guys. I like that thought. Using our superpowers to protect people or to protect animals is a really great idea. So our jet pig. Can I take the jet pig? Can I hold up our jet pig? Thank you. So our jet pig, for those of you who haven't met the jet pig, this is Amelia Pighart. They are our jet pig. They're visiting us all summer long. Our jet pig needs a transformation today. If you notice, our jet pig doesn't have a very important thing. Their jet is missing. So today, in our E-class, we are creating their jetpack. And we are transforming our pig into the jet pig it was always meant to be, so our jet pig can fly around the world and visit other people and teach them about the UU values, because that's their whole goal in life. And we're going to help them achieve that goal. Are you ready? Yeah. Let's go. What's your question?
so pigs can fly, after all. We'll see, that's right. At this time, we enter into a time of ritual and sacred sharing, a time for sharing our joys and sorrows, our concerns, and the many milestones. First this week, we light a candle for Susan B. With her ongoing health concerns and challenges, we lift her up in the light. All impacted by the flooding in Texas, by those impacted by ice raids across our nation. All who are suffering in Gaza, and for the immediate assistance for these conditions. All areas of violence around the world, especially Haiti, the Sudan, the Middle East, and of course, the war in Ukraine. For our country, that we might continue to work towards creating a society filled with love, empathy, civil rights, and justice for all people. And for Teresa and Eric, who celebrate their 35th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Yes. They were married in Teresa's mother's garden by the Reverend Dr. D. Sowles of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, UU Fellowship. I spoke with Teresa this week, and they're with family. At this time, you are welcome to come up and fill out a prayer card on our prayer stand, drop a stone into our shared water, or perhaps light a candle of a joy or concern. Robin will assist you with that. At this time, I invite you to come forward along the outer aisle near the wall as you see fit as we enter into this very sacred time. We light a few more candles for those things that are held in hearts that are not ready for voice quite yet, and for those that are joining us online or are not able to be with us this morning. Let us now take time to sit in stillness and listen for the voice within, for the whisper of joy, for the call of the journey as we follow the sound of the bell into that stillness.
For today's wisdom words, we have selected readings from by Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell. We must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. The spiritual path is not laid out in advance. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's path. Your own path you make with every step you take. That's why it's called your path. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. It is by going down into the abyss that we recover the treasures of life. Where you stumble, there lies your treasure. Follow your bliss. Don't be afraid. Doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. When you follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has been waiting for you all along. Your sacred space is where you can find yourself again and again. The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are. Find a place inside where there is joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. The goal of life is to make your heartbeat match the beat of the universe. to match your nature with nature. The journey is yours, and it is holy.
So the faith tradition in which I was raised, the minister before every sermon would have a short prayer. So please join me in prayer. Source of love and longing, mystery known by many, many names and beyond all naming, we gather this morning with open hearts and seeking spirits. May we be fully present at this time, open to wisdom, grounded in compassion, ready to be challenged, inspired, and transformed. May this be a place of deep listening where the voice within us meets the voices around us, and where together we remember what matters most. May the words spoken here today be rooted in truth, carried with care, and received with grace. Let this time together flourish our courage, strengthen our kindness, and widen our sense of what is sacred. In hope, in love, and in the spirit of community we begin. Amen. I discovered Joseph Campbell during the PBS series The Power of Myth in the late 80s. Those of you of a certain age may remember that. For those of you of all ages, I would highly recommend the viewing of it on YouTube. It appears that the whole series is on YouTube now. Campbell studied comparative mythology and was a master teacher. He immersed himself into exploring all religions for universal truths behind the many stories. He was heavily influenced by the work of Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, especially how mythology dovetailed with Jung's notion of the collective unconsciousness. When asked what his form of yoga practice was one time, Campbell answered without pause, "I underline sentences." He seemed to know every sacred story in every faith tradition throughout the world and how they aligned with the core themes of our shared human experience. Campbell's reverence for the underlying truths in all faiths reminds me of our own UU heritage, a faith grounded not in creed, but in covenant, not in dogma, but in shared values. His belief in myth as a mirror of the human soul aligns with our search for truth, wherever it may be found, in scripture or science, in poetry or in lived experience. Joseph Campbell famously encouraged us to follow our bliss, but behind that often quoted phrase is a deeper challenge, one that resonates with the Unitarian Universalist commitment to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Campbell was not advocating for a life of easy pleasure or shallow comfort. Rather, he pointed to something richer, the idea that when we live with authenticity, when we align our lives with what stirs our hearts, we participate in a sacred unfolding. Campbell saw life as a journey, a hero's journey, and each of us as its central character. The path, he reminds us, isn't mapped out cleanly and clearly. In fact, he writes, as Robin shared, if you see that your path laid out in front of you step by step, you know it's not your path, your own path you make with every step you take. In that reading, I'm mindful of if you do any hiking this time of year around here, you know if you're the first one that's gone down the trail because you get all the spider webs. So in our travel of life, if you don't have the spider webs, you know you're following someone else's path, not your path. In other words, we are co-creators of our life. And the energy that fuels this creative journey, it is enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm comes from the Greek, and I'm sure I'm butchering this, entheos, meaning the divine within, or filled with God. To live with enthusiasm is to live with spirit, with sacred energy, with a sense of presence and wonder. It is not naive optimism, nor is it the denial of life's grief and suffering. Enthusiasm, in its deepest sense, is the courage to say yes to life. Yes, even to messiness. Yes, even to unknowns. Yes, even to our heartaches. As Unitarian Universalists, we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. That includes the sacred worth of our own life's path, your gifts, your questions, your joys, your struggles. We affirm not only that we can walk your journey, you can walk your journey with enthusiasm, but that the world needs you to do such. As I mentioned, it is easy to confuse enthusiasm with constant happiness. But joy, as Campbell suggests, is not found in avoiding pain, but in saying yes to the journey, even when the road is hard. The word woke has taken on a lot of connotations lately. You may have noticed that. But to walk with enthusiasm is to walk awake, to live deliberately and passionately and curiously, rather than mechanically or fearfully. So what does this mean in our daily lives? It means choosing purpose over perfection. It means asking, what is alive in me? What brings me energy even when it's really hard? Where am I called to serve, to love, to grow? It means when facing the unknown, we do not wait for all the answers before taking a step. We step anyway, trusting that the path will unfold underfoot. As many of you know, I was a school principal for what seemed like 1,000 years. I had a lot of experience working with adolescent youth and students and their parents. One definition of adolescence is the unceasing fear, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, of being embarrassed. However, my favorite definition of an adolescent was someone who only had enough light to see the next step directly in front of them. The metaphor suggests that the adolescents were navigating a period of uncertainty and change, often without a clear view of their future or the bigger picture. I cannot tell you how many times in my office I asked an adolescent why they did what they did, and what was their answer? I don't know. And it was sincere, usually. To blaze our own path despite the fear of embarrassment or the dark also means listening to our hearts, to the world around us, and to the still small voice of life calling us forward. But we do not have to go it alone. The Celtics had a phrase, anam cora. You may remember this term in that Reverend Amy spoke about this concept about a year ago during a sermon. It is Gaelic and means soul friend. It refers to that person or persons who help us along our personal spiritual path. I think of this role as someone who instructs and guides in a very special fashion. Not really a teacher who tends to be out front showing the way, not as a mentor who provides all the sage wisdom from afar, not as a coach who pushes and prods us to improve each and every day, but more like a spiritual caddy. Yes, caddy, as in golf caddy. Allow me to explain. Recently, I've been watching a new series called Stick on Apple TV. Is anybody watching that one yet? Okay. Stick. This is the first season. The setting is the world of golf, but it is about as much about golf as Ted Lasso was really about soccer. The main character is a washed-up pro who winds up caddying for a young golf phenom. It has prompted me to see an Anam Cara, a soul friend, kind of like a caddy in golf. A good caddy encourages, but also questions. They walk the same journey as you, but they stay close behind for support. They also know when to step in and when you pull the wrong club out of the bag. They remind you what you did last time you pulled that club out of that bag. At the end of the day, a good caddy shares the accountability, no matter what results are on the scorecard. And like you, I have some caddies in my life who have gone on before, but are still guiding me forward. Or to quote the famous caddy Bagger Vance in the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance, I'm right here with you. I've been here all along. The movie points out another similarity between golf and life. It's a game that you can't win. You can only play. Or as numerous writers over the eons have pointed out, none of us will ever get out of this world alive. We often speak of beloved community in Unitarian Universalism, but beloved doesn't mean perfect. It means real, trustworthy, present. Our spiritual companions, our soul friends, don't walk the path for us, but they help us remember who we are along the way. Joseph Campbell said, "The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are, not who the world expects you to be, not who your fear tells you to be, but who you truly are when you live with integrity, courage, and joy." Friends, the invitation of Unitarian Universalism is not to follow a prescribed path, case in point, but to discover your own, to find what gives you life and to live it wholeheartedly. Unitarian Universalism cast a very wide net. Walk your journey with eagerness. Let it be a sacred fire in your belly. Let it be the spirit that carries you through your doubts and your fears. Let it be the spark that makes you, you. Knowing that the light that illuminates your path helps others find their way just as well. I know that for a fact, because there are plenty of folks in this room right now who have helped light the way for my spiritual journey, especially when the darkness was overwhelming. I invite you to take a moment to reflect on your own journey. What does it mean for you to walk with enthusiasm? What sparks within you, and how can you let that fire guide you forward? In a world that too often numbs, rushes, or distracts, to live with genuine enthusiasm is a radical, sacred act. Friends, quit asking about the meaning of life. Each of us has meaning and we bring it to life. It is a waste to ask the question when you are the answer. Remember that enthusiasm is not just an emotion, it is a practice. It is a choice, and it is a gift you can offer to yourself, to others, and to the world. In closing, I offer up the following blessing. May you walk your path with clarity and courage. May you listen for the quiet yes that lives within your soul. May you find soul friends who walk beside you, and may you be that friend for others. Walk in enthusiasm, my friends. Walk awake. The path is yours, and it is indeed holy. So may it be. Blessed be. Amen.
Thank you all. Now let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, where we are now the keepers of that dream. This month, we're sharing our offering plate with PFLAG Salisbury, Rowan. Founded in 1973, PFLAG is the nation's largest organization dedicated to supporting, educating, and advocating for LGBTQ plus people and those who love them. PFLAG Salisbury Rowan was formed in 2006. The Scholarship Foundation was started in 2008, and as of 2024, they've given over $108,000 to deserving Rowan County High School seniors, public, private, and homeschooled, who identify as LGBTQ or ally. Our host will pass around the baskets, and we ask that you place your gift pass the baskets down the row as when you receive it. You may place your gift in the baskets as they make their way around the room, And you're also always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
On behalf of a grateful congregation, church community, and community at large, thank you for the many gifts that are in this basket, but for the many other gifts that you give each and every day. Our closing hymn is 1018. It's in your teal hymnal. Ironically or coincidentally, entitled Singing the Journey. 118, Come and Go With Me, is also known as Go With Me to This Land. And it was originated as an African-American spiritual. So you hear that call and response in the song. It's been recorded by many artists. Blind Willie Johnson and Peter, Paul, and Mary, you may remember, sang this song. Appropriately, it's in our Singing the Journey hymn book. I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we enthusiastically sing it. Before we extinguish our chalice, I want to offer thanks for the many volunteers that make our worship service possible. It's always dangerous to point out names, but I want to especially thank Robin. Thank you, Robin. Ann and choir, thank you so much for what you do. We appreciate you. We also ask that before you leave that you place the hymnals back in the cart over there right behind the piano. That helps us out a little bit. And as usual, each week we take a moment to offer up thanks, things that are in our hearts, things that we're grateful for and thankful for each and every day, and especially today. And so I invite you to lift up those things in voice.
I want to honor my cat.
Oh,
Just died.
oh, Gail, I'm so sorry.
Good cat.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Gail lost her cat. I'm so sorry.
I am grateful for Sam Treadaway, for all his research, his enthusiasm in communicating a message, and for his love for his community.
Thank you, Lisa. You're so kind.
I'm thankful also for Sam, but for the teachers that guided me to what I've become and where I am today. Still a lot.
Right. For teachers, especially the coming days, for our teachers in our lives.
Grateful to my friends.
Your friends, yes. Anna
grateful
Makara.
for Joseph Campbell.
Joseph Campbell, yes, yes.
Grateful for family.
For family, yes.
Grateful for all the new people we're here seeing coming.
Yes.
Joining our congregation.
Yes, yes, for new folks joining us for worship. We also want to maybe lift up just those things that are outside this room that we are maybe not aware of, but we want to honor that as well. Hear now this closing blessing. Walk your path boldly, listen deeply, love fiercely, and greet each day with all its beauty and brokenness, with sacred, joyful enthusiasm. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light and its warmth and its meaning with us until we meet again. May it be a symbol of the spark of divinity in each of us. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we wander on our unique journey called life. May it be so. For our sung blessing, which is 1010, we give thanks. We form a circle. Feel free to join hands, or if you prefer, you can just hold your hands over your heart. Be well, friends.